Welcome to Metabolic Maestro. I teach men to restore internal order so that self-mastery becomes inevitable. Today, I wanted to touch on the training phase of the Maestro path and the power switch, how flipping it on turns certain circuits of the biology to be able to naturally invite self-mastery. And what I wanted to say was how most men today, or most modern men, see training as some kind of suffering, some kind of task that is painful, arduous, and they find that it's a struggle to get into the gym or even just do some calisthenics. The reason for this is not because training is inherently hard or torturous. It's more that their biology is in chaos. So they have a chaotic biology, and this doesn't allow them to easily take the action of getting to the gym, working out. When you look at children, they can't wait to go out to the park and play. They're always jumping around, moving all over the floor, crawling all over the place. Why? Because their biology is in order. They have an internal state that is in order. Look at animals in the wild, naturally aligned to taking action in terms of movement, and there's no sense of resistance with them. They just do it. So I wanted to remind you how powerful it is when you start to train, and that it's not some kind of punishment. It's actually a way to embody and cultivate self-mastery. How? Well, when you train and you go through that process that initially feels painful, but ultimately you come out feeling good. You start to notice that your physique is changing. Your body composition is changing. It's becoming more aligned with your goals of how you want to look, how you want to feel. And over time, this actually rewires your brain, rewires the neural pathways, the dopamine pathways that constantly seeking for external rewards, external pleasure, such as scrolling, such as food, overeating, such as indulging in other, let's say, sensual pleasures, overindulging, and you start to train your brain to start to appreciate intrinsic rewards. What are intrinsic rewards? These are things like simply having gone to the gym enough times and noticing how with just deep breathing, whether you're catching your breath from a set you just did, or just settling down from a workout, and you just notice how deep breathing just really calms you and you like that feeling. That's an intrinsic reward. An intrinsic reward is noticing how after 24, 36, 46 hours of fasting and you hit the gym, or you just hit the weights, or you hit the push-ups, calisthenics, whatever it may be, and you notice that you just start to feel good. the endorphins are kicking in, and you can tell exactly when they start to ramp up. It becomes very obvious. You can literally say, there it is. That's an intrinsic reward. And there's so many wonderful chemicals your brain produces to enhance your mood. But just to give you a couple and to show you how over time this rewires and trains your brain to be okay with delayed gratification for external pleasure, for external rewards, not because you're putting yourself through some punishment or some suffering regime. It's not about that. It might look like that from the outside, where let's say there's a piece of cake there and you just didn't want it, not because you don't eat cake, but because you're experiencing a certain intrinsic reward that is giving you a pleasure, a satisfaction, personal satisfaction that is much greater than what the cake will give you. And you know this because you've practiced it several times, many times. And so it's not about suffering, it's not about restriction. It's about getting your brain, training your brain to appreciate intrinsic rewards, intrinsic pleasure. And over time, you become a man who is not externally led, constantly moved and jerked by his desires and sensual pleasures, but you become a man who's grounded, purposeful, and one who is internally led and self-directed, poised. Remember, fasting is the doorway, stillness is the foundation, and discipline is the path. I made a 24-hour reset guide to help you begin. Until next time, be still.